Hello students, in chapter 8 today we are going to learn about expressing the future. How we can use various verb forms to express the future time. First of all, listen to this passage. You will find this passage page number 43 of your textbook under the heading Warm Up. You will have a fun-filled week. You will be spending a lot of time with your family. Schoolwork too will be demanding, so you will have to take care not to upset your teacher. In case you are to participate in a competition, you will need to put in extra effort for preparation, as others too will have put in a special effort for the gold medal. A relative from overseas is going to send you a surprise soon. Look at all those words in bold letters in blue color. Will have, will be spending, will be demanding, again will have, are to, will need, will have put, is going to. All these words, all these verb forms, they are expressing future time. So, it means that different verb forms can be used to express the future time. So today, let us learn how the future time can be expressed using different verb forms. First of all, the simple future. The simple future is used to talk about events that will take place at some time in the future. It indicates certainty, habitual actions, willingness, and unplanned instant actions. So simple future indicates certainty, habitual actions, willingness, and unplanned instant actions. Let us analyze some examples. My father will leave at 8 p.m. for the airport. This sentence is expressing certainty. Your father has already decided, already planned to leave at 8 p.m. and you know that he is going to leave at 8 p.m. So you say that my father will leave at 8 p.m. for the airport. For a certain action, we use simple future tense. We shall help you carry the bag. It is a willing act. You are expressing your willingness to help someone. Therefore, we use simple future tense to express that sentence. Sahil will boast about his bike as usual. So here it is a habitual action. Sahil usually boasts about his bike. Therefore, Sahil will boast about his bike now also. Therefore, to express such a habitual action, you can use simple future tense. I will go to the park now and exercise. So it is expressing instant action, unplanned instant action. Suppose you are talking with your friend and at the end of your conversation, you tell him that now I will go to the park and exercise. So it was not planned, it is an instant action. Therefore, in order to express an instant action, an unplanned action, we can use simple future tense. And the structure of the simple future is will or shall plus the base form of the verb. Secondly, the future continuous is used to talk about events that will be in progress at a particular time in the future. Future continuous is used to talk about events that will be in progress at a particular time in the future. Let us look at some examples. I will be traveling this time next week. So you are talking about some event that will be in progress at a particular time in the future. Suppose you are talking to your friend on a Thursday at 10 o'clock and you are telling that next Thursday at 10 o'clock you will be traveling. So you say that I will be traveling this time next week. The doctors will be operating on him tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, the operation will be in progress. Therefore, using future continuous tense, you say that the doctors will be operating on him tomorrow morning. And the structure of the future continuous is will or shall plus be plus the ing form of the verb. Another tense form to express the future time is the future perfect. The future perfect is used to talk about future actions that will have been completed before a given point of time in the future. Here are some examples. I shall have landed in Mumbai by this time tomorrow. So the action of reaching Mumbai will be completed by this time tomorrow. So using future perfect, you say that I shall have landed in Mumbai by this time tomorrow. The action will be completed by this time tomorrow. Another sentence. The show will have started by the time you reach. So you are saying that by the time you reach the theater, the show will have already started. The structure of the future perfect is will or shall plus have plus the past participle form of the verb. Will or shall plus have plus the past participle form of the verb. A fourth verb form is the future perfect continuous, and it is used to talk about actions that will be continuing for some time but will be completed before an action or point of time in the future. Future perfect continuous is used to talk about actions that will be continuing for some time but will be completed before an action or point of time in the future. Take note of these examples. By the time it is 6:30 p.m., they will have been watching the match for 2 hours. By the time it is 6:30 p.m., they will have been watching the match for 2 hours. So here you are saying that they started to watch the match maybe around 4:30 p.m. and by 6:30 they will have been watching the match for 2 hours. Another example, Sneha will have been speaking for an hour by the time the meeting ends. So, by the time the meeting ends, Sneha will have been speaking for an hour. The structure of the future perfect continuous is will or shall plus have been plus the ing form of the verb. In certain cases, we can use verb forms in present tense to express the future time. That is what we are going to see now. The simple present is also used to talk about scheduled future events such as meetings, timetables, and arrivals and departures of trains and flights. The simple present is also used to talk about scheduled future events such as meetings, timetables, and arrivals and departures of trains and flights. Here are some examples. He leaves at 6:30 p.m. from the office for the Vadodara station. So it is a scheduled future event. He is scheduled to leave at 6:30 p.m. from the office. So, to talk about such scheduled future events, we can use simple present tense. Another example, my music class starts at 5:30 p.m. So I must rush now. So this is also an example of a scheduled future events. Here it is a timetable. So according to my timetable, my music class starts at 5:30 p.m. So I must rush now, otherwise I will be late. So in order to talk about such scheduled future events, we can use simple present tense. And the structure of the simple present tense, we need to use verb in the first form. And when the subject is in the third person singular, like he, she, it, you need to add yes or yes to the base form of the verb. The present continuous may also be used to talk about future actions that have already been planned. We use time expressions like tomorrow, next week, next year, and in the coming year to make it clear that they are not happening now. So present continuous may also be used to talk about future actions. So let's look at some examples. The teacher is marking our projects next Friday. So it is a planned action. The teacher has planned to mark our projects next Friday. So you can use present continuous tense and say the teacher is marking our projects next Friday. So you need to use time expression there, otherwise it will mean the teacher is marking the projects now. So in order to avoid that, in order to make it clear that it is not happening now, you have to use a time expression. Here the time expression is next Friday. The teacher is marking our projects next Friday. Another example, we are visiting the old people's home next week. We are visiting the old people's home next week. So this visit is planned for next week. It is a future action that has already been planned. So you can use present continuous tense to talk about it. We are visiting the old people's home next week. In this sentence also we have used a time expression next week. So if we don't use that time expression, it will mean that you are visiting the old people's home now. So in order to avoid that, you are using a time expression next week. We are visiting the old people's home next week. The structure of the present continuous: am, is, are, plus the ing form of the verb. There is yet another way to express the future time. Let us learn about that now. The expression be going to is used to talk about events likely to happen soon or in the near future, as there is much evidence. It also shows intention. Let us analyze these examples. He is going to be scolded soon for his behavior. He is going to be scolded soon for his behavior. Suppose you have a classmate who is very naughty and he has been to many mischiefs these days. So it is very likely that the teacher may scold him for his behavior. So in order to express that, you can use be going to form. So we say he is going to be scolded soon for his behavior. The students are going to request the principal for a canteen. Maybe you have heard some students talking about it. Maybe you have seen some of your friends collecting signatures. So there is much evidence that it is likely to happen in the near future. So you use the expression be going to form and say the students are going to request the principal for a canteen. Another sentence, I am going to buy a new bicycle soon. So here you are showing your intention. Intention to buy a new bicycle soon. So you can use be going to form to express that intent and say I am going to buy a new bicycle soon. And the structure is like this: be going to plus the base form of the verb. Present forms of the be verb are am, is, and are. So students, today we have learned how to express the future time using different verb forms. So after watching the video lesson, read the textbook and also try to do the exercises given at the end of the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.